Welcome to the Mother-Daughter-ish podcast. It's your mama's favorite podcast.
And the podcast your daughter always wanted.
This is Miss Dawn.
And Aungelique.
From the 713. Houston, y'all. Get connected and stay connected weekly as new shows debut on Sunday, Wednesday, and please check out our Saturday Out and About showcases.
Enjoy the show. Please subscribe, like, share, comment, and tell every woman on the planet that you know about our show.
Here's our show for today.
Everything's better. Mother and daughter, oh, they're the greatest duo. Mother and daughter, oh, they're the greatest duo.
Hey, it's Miss Dawn. You wondering how you can support our show, Mother-Daughter-ish? We have Cash App, we have PayPal, and we do have Vimeo. Support our show so that we can reach out to more women. Our goal is to reach and build a community of 1 million women. Why don't you come on and help us do that? Hello, mothers and daughters. Today we are back on our health topics for the month of November. And the one today, it just is in my life every single day, because of course we have a meal, some of us, every single day. There are those of us who don't have a meal every day, but we have a meal every single day, so I'm always thinking about everything that I'm about to talk about today. So today, in our health continuance, I'm going to be talking about good nutrition and water. And I want to throw this in, is we just won't be talking about water, but mixed in here will be a lot of conversation about H3, which is the waters that you get from the fruit that you eat. Okay? All right, so the first thing I want to talk about in this nutrition topic for today is just want to give you 3 facts and just things that help to promote good nutrition and health. And one of them is it helps with regulating your bowels. And so we know we need the things in our body. We call them body functions to work properly. So we know that good nutrition helps to aid and promote in that. It also is good to keep up our energy. It helps to keep our energy up and keep us going. You know how people will say, I just don't have any energy. I'm hungry. I'm this. I haven't had any food. And as we go on, we're going to also talk about electric foods, because I know that as I've been reading through Dr. Sebi's nutrition book, he talks a lot about electric foods. And so we're going to just briefly hit on them. And my best education that I've learned is when I hear a particular topic, if I don't know what it is, I go and Google it. Like when I got the list of electric foods, I needed to literally see what was on the list. So when I go to the grocery store, I know what I'm getting. So helping to keep the bowels moving and just keep the body functions flowing, but also giving you energy. And then also is good for your skin and for your hair, but most importantly, good for your organs. So can you imagine that if you're eating the proper foods and you're getting the nutrition that you need, that you would also be aiding in good nutrition for your organs. So we're talking the kidneys, the liver, things, lungs, things like that. So then we'll go right into the topic about electric foods. And if you're looking at the video, you can see that I have a lot of different foods that you can see. We're going to talk a little bit about fasting and all kinds of things. But anyway, electric foods, and this wasn't just in Dr. Sebi's books. These are also all types of different sources where I found lists of electric foods. And excuse me for being so biased, but I only wrote down the specific ones that I like. If you want to look up a list of electric foods, just go to Google and type in list of electric foods. Pick the ones that you think that you'll like to purchase at the grocery store and just kind of go from there. When you start thinking about food, decide if you want to have the 3 meals a day as we were taught as kids, if you want to have 1 meal a day, or if you want to change to a source of maybe fasting. And basically fasting is just where you have certain times during the day or night that you literally don't eat anything, but that you drink your waters and you get your liquids in you, but that you're actually not consuming food. Now, according to the dictionary term, fasting is an abstinence from eating, which is what I basically just said, and making sure that you're drinking your waters and things like that. But you can decide how you want to fast. I do an 18-hour fast every day. There are 18 hours of the day you will not catch me eating anything. I do get at least 6 to 8 hours of sleep on a normal day, about 5 to 6 hours. I don't immediately eat in the mornings anymore. I don't have to have snacks during the day anymore. I have one meal a day and I'm good with that. I will share with you why I start doing that, and you're going to find it quite interesting. But I just wanted to throw in a little bit about how you fast. Just don't forget your H2O and your H3 waters that come from the fruit that you eat. So example, if you have watermelon, we know that that's the largest source of water that you can get from a fruit. A lot of people don't like watermelon, and I'm going to tell you right now, if you put sugar or salt on your watermelon, we can't be friends. I just wanted to put that PSA out there. So electric foods that I discovered that I actually like, that's always on my grocery list, is avocados. I love taking avocados, mixing a little rotel with it, a little pepper, no salt, just a little pepper, and possibly even some olives chopped up. And then I like to mix that and chop that up, put me some good old chips in the oven, let them get heated, and I eat it as a dip. And that is, for me, that's a meal. As a matter of fact, that's what I had for my meal today. Now, listen, a lot of people are like, that's all you, my mom says it all the time, that's all you eating? And I'm like, yeah, that's my meal for the day. So today I had my water, but I kind of mixed it up a little bit. I had some cherries, maraschino cherries, and some juice from that, mixed with 4 small limes that I squeezed into. And then I got my Mountain Valley spring water and filled my cup up to about 20 ounces, and that was my drink for today. I needed the limes because, you know, every day you should be flushing out your system for, inflammation and all of those things that cause it. Certain foods that you eat do cause inflammation in your bones. And then the cherries, I just love cherries. I like eating cherries. Matter of fact, I still have some of that water sitting right here next to me that I will be partaking in after I'm done with this. And then I just mixed in my favorite water, which is Mountain Valley spring water. Hey, I got a chance to visit the headquarters in Hot Springs, Arkansas a few months ago, and that was a delight. I'll put the video up. It'll be in the December videos, because all December I'm talking about nothing but travel, wins, losses, how to travel, how not to travel, tips, tricks, all kinds of things like that. And I'm excited about it. But the next electric food, so that's how I eat my avocado. And so I've already had my meal for today, and I'm full. I feel good about it. Like, sometimes just think about, like, when you eat, just ask yourself, did I feel good about that meal? Because there are literally times where I have eaten pizza or chicken or something in the past and been like, yeah, that didn't get it. Like, you know how when you're really, really hungry, then you just eat anything and you're like, yeah, but see, that didn't even get it. That didn't even hit the spot. I know it sounds weird, but, like, sometimes certain things don't hit the spot and you be like, ugh. Bell peppers. I try to put bell peppers in anything that I smother, anything that I cook, like spaghetti or lasagna. I love a good old vegan lasagna. In my vegan lasagna, I like to put black beans. Don't laugh. You know, you might like it. Try it. I like to put black beans. I like to put, and this is all chopped up. I like to put black beans. Not that black beans are not chopped up, but I like to put black beans. I like to put onions. I like to put bell peppers, but I don't just like to put green bell peppers. I like to put the red, the yellow, the green, and the orange. I like a variety of colors. I like to put spinach in my lasagna, and that pretty much fills me up with the lasagna. So when I make my vegan lasagna, it fills you up. And I'm now trying to train myself not to cook for a big portion, but to just like have enough for one day of leftovers, not 3 or 4. The next thing is cucumbers. Have you ever been on a cruise? And this is my best memories. Whenever I've been on a cruise, they always have that cucumber water. Just like when you go to a hotel and you walk in and they have the water ready. It's usually lemon or lime water, or it'll maybe be mango water, or it's going to be cucumber water. I buy cucumbers not to just eat and chop up in my salads or whatever, but I also buy it to chop it up and put it in my water. Just like I'm sitting here with the lime and water and cherries right here. My source today was my cherries, which is just something that I really wanted. Kale. Kale is the next thing. Kale, people love to make smoothies with their kale. They like to just eat their kale with the salad plain. Back in the day, I used to like just a salad. Okay. In the last quite a few years, I don't just like a salad. I like a green salad. I like my spinach. I like my kale. I like my green vegetables. The greener it is, the better, the more electric it is. When you eat regular lettuce, you're basically just having water. Now, again, water is great for you, but you want to mix it up, mix it up, mix it up. Just like in this picture right here, you see where she's mixing up that fruit salad. I love mixing up a fruit salad. I like to chop up like the watermelon, the cucumbers, the um, mangoes, and just all the fruit that I like, and I love me some mangoes. I used to think that the mangoes that I liked were the red and green ones, but really it's the yellow ones that's hidden. The red and green ones are great and traditional, but the yellow ones are hitting, let me tell you. The next thing on my list is okra. You know, you can take okra and with those little cherry tomatoes, and you can make like a okra stew or whatever, and that'll fill you up as well. The hardest thing for me when I start fasting, I'll tell you how I started that. The hardest thing for me was trying to figure out how to eat without having meat. That was so difficult to fathom that I could have a successful, fulfilling, healthy meal without having meat. And it was really all about retraining my brain. And I'll share that with you. If you can retrain your brain, there are a lot of things that'll be useful and beneficial for you going forward, okay? Last thing on my list is zucchini. A lot of people take zucchini and they make all kinds of... I have seen so many meals with zucchini made that I'm like, I gotta learn how to roast and do that and do that. And they scoop it out, mix it up with stuff, put it back in, put it in the oven. I'm like, I need to learn how to do those tricks, but haven't gotten there yet. So we're going to move on to the water facts. And like I said, make sure you get your water from regular clean water and then from H3 water, which is the water that you get from the fruit that you eat. So smoothies and cold pressing is a great idea. In a perfect world where there's time just didn't exist, I would definitely have at least 3 or 4 smoothies a day. But if you know, like I know, cleaning that smoothie machine after it is not easy. And I'm not one of those people who want to get up and make like 5 smoothies for the day and put them in because it's just something about drinking it right fresh, right after it's made. So water is good to normalize your blood pressure. So if you're having issues with your blood pressure, make sure that you intake more water because it has an influence on how the blood flows through your body and oxygenates and all of that. So water, just on that alone, is great. Water is also good for flushing out the toxins out of your body. Again, we're back to this body functions moving properly. Okay. It helps with digestion. So we're, again, movement of the body. It helps to ward off constipation. Again, movement of the body. But then also it helps to protect your organs and tissue. So that alone right there should encourage you to drink. I'll tell you how I tricked my mind. Again, like I said, retraining your brain. The way I tricked my mind on water is that I had gone to the doctor back in April of 2022, and she was saying I was severely anemic. She said, you're severely anemic. You need to, get on a anemic drip, and you need to do this, and you need to take your iron pills, and blah, blah, blah. It took 3 months to get me back stabilized. I didn't have really any symptoms or anything major that I noticed, but the only thing I had changed in my diet is that I got rid of the meat. I got rid of anything that wasn't natural fruit juices. Like if I didn't make the juice myself, I didn't drink it. For example, if I want orange juice, guess what? I'm going to cut up some oranges and I'm going to squeeze some orange juice, or I have a machine that squeezes it for me, of course. But that's the only kind of juice I drink is if it's 100% right from the fruit itself, not from the store. I just have not done it in years. I don't buy fruit juice in the store anymore. But we started talking about the blood, and she was just saying make sure you drink plenty of water. And then I noticed every time I would do a blood test, they would say, oh, here, drink this water. And I thought, well, wait a minute. obviously if they're telling me to drink water, then it must be obvious that I need the water for the blood to keep flowing. So I just decided every time I drink water, I talk to my water and I tell my water, get this blood to flowing the way it needs to. Get it flowing to where it needs to be. Get it flowing so that, the blood levels stay where it's supposed to. Get it flowing so the blood, I talk to my water just like I talk to my money. We have close relationships, me and my water and me and my money. So I was on this website, because we're going to move to the next topic. I was on this website called Total Health, HIXON.com. And it was talking about hidden sugars. So I was like, I know I had talked about hidden sugars in one of my other videos, but I just keep on looking for these different types, because what I noticed is that whenever I eat out or something, I can always taste the sugar. And like my doctor said, if you could taste the sugar, then you know something wrong. In ketchup, you can taste the sugar. In mustard, you can taste the sugar. In mayo, you can taste the sugar. In all these different condiments, you can taste the sugar. What was I eating the other day? I was eating something the other day, and I said, but why did they put sugar in this? Like, I didn't get it. I just threw it away because I was just like, I'm just going to waste money on this because I could taste the sugar. I think it was a French fry or something. If I can taste the sugar, something is wrong. Like when you're just eating a regular meal. So a couple of things that you can definitely trace back to hidden sugars, which is things that you don't think of. Because, like, I'll go in a whole day, and by half of the day, I'll go, okay, I didn't have any sweets today. I didn't have any bread today. Okay, so I didn't have any sugars. And then I go back to think, okay, but what did I have today? And I start thinking about what ingredients did I put in that. Because I'm a eat at home girl. I love it. I hope that whoever God puts me with, that I hope he's a eat at home boy, because I would prefer us to be cooking together than eating out. Just, it's safer, it's cleaner, it's more of what we know we're eating. All this eating out, we've done it. We've been there. We've had it all. So I'm just hoping for that. But anyway, when it comes to hidden sugars, think about the corn syrups and things that you have. Like when you have your pancakes, you have certain syrup and your sweet corns and all of those things that have sugar on them. But then also on the back of ingredients, if you see things like fructose and dextrose, we're talking simple things as even like your gum. Like I have certain gum that I choose, and I started that a long time ago so that it's better for me. I get it at Sprouts. And then also, again, back to the fruit juices that I was just telling you, a lot of fruit juices will say 100% juice, but you can tell, obviously, they mix water in with it. You can tell, obviously, they mix some other sugars, because on the back of it, it'll say fructose, dextrose, all of these type of things. So you definitely got to be aware of that. If you eat cereal, I stopped eating cereal when my kids were in middle school. We're talking 15 years ago. I stopped eating cereal. I love the way Frosted Flakes taste, but I hated the way it made me feel after, so I let it go. So also think about your condiments, like your things that you put in your coffee, creamers, and all of these things. And then your different beverages that you're having. If you're still drinking sodas, bless your soul. That's really all I can say. I gave up sodas maybe 22 years ago. Every now and then, if I'm out to dinner and I have a root beer or I have a ginger ale or something like that, but just like going for the hardcore. What I used to love was a good old orange or grape crush. I used to love a good old Big Red. Back in the day when I was a teenager, Yellow Mellow was my friend. Every time we would go to Louisiana, there were two things I always had to have. I had to have my Mellow Yellow and my Rocky Road cookie. What's the name? Oh, they're called planks, stage planks. I had to have those two things. It was like life was not the same if we rode through Louisiana and we didn't stop at the Piggly Wiggly or at the corner store and get those two things. And it's crazy how your mind is, because even when I had my office in Baton Rouge for 5 years, when I would go to Louisiana 1 week out of the month, I would always stop at the little corner stores in the hood. And can't get Mellow Yellow because that's not for sale anymore, but I would always get my Rocky Road stage plank cookies every time. In case you want to pick me some up if you're running through Louisiana. I like the one with the pink on top, and then I also like the lemon one. I put up with it, but my favorite is the pink, so in case you want to send me some stage plank, cookies. And if you put sugar or salt on your watermelon, that will kind of even us out, and we could then be friends again, and that would be the only way you could redeem yourself. want to dig a little bit deeper into the fasting. I'm going to tell you how I started fasting. First, I'm going to tell you a tip before I tell you what happened to me. Ease into it. Don't try to just like wake up today and go, I'm going to fast. I'm not going to eat all day. But then, because you have to really discover what are the times that you would never be eating anyway. So if the times that you would never be eating would be after 6 p.m., then go for that. Like me, I cannot stand if I'm forced to eat after 5 o'clock. And I don't care what country I'm in. 5 o'clock is 5 o'clock wherever I am. I don't get that, oh, but it's 6 o'clock at home. No, I do not like to eat after 5 o'clock. I would rather starve all day and just say, because my mom has heard me say this, I'll just eat tomorrow. I would rather starve all day and eat tomorrow than to eat after 5 o'clock. Just something about it. I don't like it. The reason that started is because when I was in my 30s, I discovered I was getting heartburn and all of these things at nighttime, because I go to bed at 7 or 8. And I was getting heartburn, and I couldn't figure out why. So I said, well, stop eating after 5 o'clock and see what happens. Because I would eat about 5 or 6 o'clock right before bed, which was so dumb and, shouldn't have been doing it. But anyway, I stopped eating after 5. Boom. I never had I never had any kind of heart burn or anything since then. I mean, here I am. I had a whole child with more hair than most adults, and that never gave me heartburn. But all of a sudden, when I changed my diet, I realized that I could, get rid of the heartburn. Here I am now, 50, and haven't had heartburn in probably 25 years, just simply from changing the way I eat. And it's so funny because my daughter's 28, and she says now she has to eat before a certain time. I don't know if she sticks to it, because sometimes people will just say, I'm just going to take one for the team. But I had to stick to mine because I don't like feeling a certain kind of way. But back to the fasting. In 2016, the reason I started fasting is because I almost starved in Indonesia. Here's the backstory. I went to Indonesia in 2016 for my birthday. Yes, I went by myself. I was there for 2 weeks. Had an amazing time. Jakarta, Indonesia is where I landed. When I got there, I didn't have a game plan. And when I say a game plan, I mean for my meals. I had a game plan on what I was doing every day. I had a game plan on what I was going to see. I had a game plan on what I was going to interact with. I had a game plan because somebody picked me up. A tourist company picked me up every single day from the hotel to take me to the places that I had scheduled. And other places that I wanted to go to, I just got in a cab and simply went to them or in the bus from the hotel. But guess what? I did not have a game plan for my food. I had a game plan for my water because I had already gone to the store and gotten my bottled, well-known water. Okay. So here we are on day 3, and I was so hungry in the hotel. I mean, when I say hungry, I'm talking about everything had been exhausted. All the peanut butter and crackers that I had in my bag was exhausted. I didn't have a trip for that day planned because it was like the day before my birthday. I didn't have a trip for that day planned. I had already been gone a few days every day. Pick me up every day at 7, bring me back at 8 or 9 at night. Wonderful. Met so many amazing people from all around the world that were also traveling for whatever reasons they were traveling, and just made some really great relationships. But day number 3, I was so hungry. I mean, I didn't have no candy. I didn't have no crackers. I didn't have anything. And I went down to the hotel's restaurant, and there was nothing I could eat. They had plenty of food, but there was nothing I could eat. That needs no explanation. So I went back to the room, and I'm just like, I got to do something. I got to do something. I'm so hungry. Like I need food. I was also thinking about safety, though. You can't just get out and walk. I was telling myself, you can't just get out and walk and go find food. There was very little English, so that was another barrier. Again, no game plan. Nobody knows English. You're on your own. Okay. So then my brain clicked in and said, find the American Mall. So I had the taxi take me to the American Mall, y'all, and that was how I got to eat, because I had no other plan. I didn't know what to do. For my birthday, I had already had something planned, which was that next day, so I was going to be out and about. I would have gotten food, but I hadn't eaten since the day before noon or something like that. So I was going on now almost 24 hours without any food, and I was like, okay, I'm drinking water, and that's good, but that ain't getting it, right? And like, who wants to have a feeling of starving during their birthday? Like, you want to feel like a queen. I want to feel like a queen during my birthday. I want to know that I can have whatever I want to have on my birthday, if it's sweets or whatever, cake, whatever, things that I don't normally have on a daily basis. So anyway, I got to the American Mall, and it was like the land of milk and honey. They had a smoothie bar there. They had a grocery store there in the mall. Lots of shopping and clothing. So after I ate, I went and did some shopping or whatever. But I found this restaurant that was sold like shrimp and fish and all of that. So I had a seafood platter all by myself. And that was actually one of the first times as me being a full-grown adult that I actually sat in a restaurant by myself and ate. I turned my back and I sat at that table by myself and I ate. And, people come by, they speak, and, people try to start a conversation with you, but I had my headset on. Yes, I still wear headphones, not the stuff that go in the ear where it's not clear that you're not trying to be bothered. No, I want to be very, very clear that I'm in my own world over here. So if it had not been for me finding that American Mall, it would have been a problem. So at that point, I decided by the time I got back home, again, I was there like 13, 14 days. By the time I got back home, I said, okay, I think we need to figure out what this fasting thing is, because obviously you don't need as much food as you think you do. And for purposes like this, because you like travel more than you like food, we're going to have to figure out how to balance the two out. So at that point is when I started fasting and realizing that I really only need a meal a day. And so in my suitcase, I always pack what I call an emergency meal. Just like when I went to Malaysia and they were eating a lot of raw food. That's fine. That's great. It looked really good. I even helped cook some of it. And when I say cook it, I mean prepare it, not cook it. But I had my peanut butter. I had my tuna kits. I had everything that I needed in my suitcase. So that's what I ate. And everybody else can eat whatever they want. But there's just been times that it's kind of like a message to me saying, you really don't need as much food as you think you need. That's just a trick of the mind to make you think you do. But when it came to fasting, I realized that I had to plan ahead. I needed to plan, I like to plan at least a couple of weeks in advance of ideas of what I think I want to eat, because I'm not a girl who likes to go to the grocery store every week. I know when we were growing up, my mom went to the grocery store every single day. I don't know why, but it's, and I could be wrong. It could have just seemed like that. So, how your thoughts are your thoughts, and if I asked her today, she probably would say it's not true. So that's fine. But it seemed like she went to the grocery store every day. But for me, I don't like to go to the grocery store often. Even when I was raising my kids when they were little, we would go to the grocery store every 3 weeks. I would buy up and stack up. At that time, I had freezers and all these things to make sure they had plenty of what they needed. Now, I've sold the freezer. I don't have to have any of that stuff. I actually wish I would have kept my freezer, because there are some things I would have loved to put in there, like all my shea butter, coconut oil, all these things that I have in the refrigerator right now. I could just have wrapped it and put it in the freezer. Anyway, so I had to learn how to plan ahead on my meals. Like, what are some things that you feel like you're going to need at the grocery store? So even in 2 weeks, you could just pull those things out and make that pasta, make that whatever you want to make. Make sure you drink plenty of water. Whatever your weight is, according to science, you're supposed to drink half of that in water. So if you weigh 100 pounds, you should be drinking 50 ounces of water. A gallon of water is 128 ounces. So that's not even a gallon. That's like almost a half of a gallon. So that's a pretty good amount of water. I know I love drinking out of my bottles of Mountain Valley, because it keeps me on track with how much I'm drinking. I know if I have 2 bottles a day, I'm good. If I have 1, I feel accomplished. If I want to be showing out, then I'm going to have 2. And it's very rare that I get to show out, because without me mixing something in it, I don't just drink it straight unless I'm having one of those really thirsty days. But again, you got to mentally train your brain to do these type of things, because for me, like yesterday was one of those days I was like, oh man, I sure would like to have some Popeye's chicken, some biscuits, and an apple pie. In my mind, I had to literally tell my mind, but you already know what that tastes like. You already know how good it is. You already know that you're going to love it the whole time you're eating it, but it's how you're going to feel after. And so the way I've tricked my brain now, that if something is wonderful in the beginning or during, but it makes me feel like crap after, I don't do it. And that's in every area of my life. Take that the way you want to. Also, I've trained myself to eat smaller portions. For example, my plate sizes. When my kids were small, they had plates that were sectioned off that I would just get from the dollar store or Walmart or whatever. They had plates that were sectioned off. So, because I had one son who don't like his food to touch, so it's like the vegetables can't touch the bread, that can't touch the meat. So because he was like that, I just bought plates for everybody so that he didn't feel like he was different, but that everybody could be the same. You know, the things you do for kids to keep their mental capacity boosted. I could have a whole show on that, and it would reach a week of conversation. But we're not going to do that because you do it and you move on and you forget it. Set it, forget it. So because I have the one meal a day, I still have, since they've been grown, I still have those sectioned off plates. But also with my regular plates, I went from 13 and 12-inch plates to like 8 and 9-inch plates. So you can only get so much food on a plate. So if you try to overdo it, it's going to fall off the side, which is really stupid. So I just look at it like whatever I can fit on this plate or in this little small bowl, this is all we're eating today. So you better pack it well, Dawn. You know, that's what I have to tell myself to be able to do what I need to do. So when it comes to nutrition, health, here's what I will tell you. If you put the good stuff in, the good stuff will show up on you. It's kind of like information that we put in our mind and movies we watch and things that we watch on TV. If we let the negative things come into our mind, those negative things will come out of our minds. I'll never forget my Uncle Maine used to say about preachers. He would say, you can always tell which ones are the real ones and which ones are not by what they say. If they're talking all this secular stuff, that's because secular stuff is all around them. If they talking about what they supposed to be talking about, then you know they talking about what they supposed to be talking about. So he would always say, if you're going to do all these other secular things, it's going to come out in what you say. And that's true, because even when I was a kid, people used to say, well, I didn't know how stupid that boy was until he opened up his mouth. And it's like sometimes you tell off on yourself. Well, guess what? Your skin will tell off on you. We just did a whole show about skin the other day. And we talked about what you put in your body comes out on your skin. It might come out on your face, might come out on your back, might come out on your bottom. We don't know. The body does what the body wants to do according to what you put in it. So I went through this phase during the pandemic that the whole 2 years I didn't take any of my vitamins at all. I was just like, I'm just going to see what happened. Worst decision I could have made. I noticed that I needed those vitamins, those natural vitamins and different little tinctures and all kinds of things. I needed those things because, you know, they help, you know, keep you electric, and they help provide what you're not getting in food. I mean, we cannot get everything that we need, of course, from just our food. We have to invite in extra sources and resources. And if you have not gotten a chance, I want you to, if you are like me, where is it? If you are like me and you are definitely, oh, here it is, and you are definitely into herbs, natural herbs and vitamins, you definitely want to check out what's going on in the world. There's a particular bill that's getting ready to be passed, and what this bill, I just read the whole bill today, by the way. Yeah, I'm that boring. I read the whole bill because it's important to me and people that are in my community of believing in natural holistic health. And what the bill is basically going to do is that if you are into natural health, vitamins and things, they're going to try to, I guess the best word I could say is they're going to try to bully your health food stores into not selling natural health. You know, the funny thing to me is as if they act like natural health back in the day before pharmaceuticals was created. They try to act like there is no such thing as natural health. And I'm just like, you know, we all know that's a lie. We all are very aware that that is a lie, and that we don't have to adhere to it. But there is a bill, I'm finding it for you while I'm talking, but there is a bill that's getting ready to pass that's going to make it very difficult in the near future, possibly, to be able to purchase your vitamins. So, for example, if you go to, and it's Bill S as in Sam, the number 4090. So Bill S 4090. And this bill is an attack, in my opinion. It is an attack on dietary supplements, and it is called the Dietary Supplements Listing Act of 2022. And the FDA is trying to regulate our natural vitamins. And I'm just like, you cannot. You cannot. There is no way that you're going to be able to regulate what God put on this earth for us. Just like He didn't give you the ingredients of life and how you were put here, you're not going to get the ingredients of why this plant heals you and why this oil heals you and why this metaphysically helps you. You're not getting the ingredients on frankincense. You're not getting any of it. And that's what the FDA wants to do. So check out that bill S4090. I just read the whole thing today, and I'm not happy about it, and I hope it never happens. And that's my show, Mothers and Daughters, on good nutrition and water. And I'm going to continue with the series. And the next one, we're going to be talking about mental health and well-being and emotional. Oh, gosh, I have a lot to say on that, only because, look, we just got off a volunteer house arrest in 2 years. And a lot of people are trying to recover from that. But thank you for listening to the show today. Make sure that you are subscribed. Make sure that you have your notification bell on when we put a new show up. Make sure that you stay connected to the Mother-Daughter-ish show, because in 2023, I want to do more. I want to do not more, but I want to do live shows. So more shows, but adding a twist to it and going live. I think that audience interaction is going to just light an extra fire. I've already put my topics together for all of 2023, so I know everything I'll be talking about all the way up until next September. And then from there, September is my birthday month, so I'm going to have to call it in and figure out what I want to talk about so I can put those shows up so I can go on where I'm going. I think for my birthday in September, I decided I was going to Croatia. So I'm going to go to Croatia for 2 weeks in September of 2023. I'm just excited about it. But thank you for listening to the show today. And until next time, enjoy good nutrition. Drink plenty of water. Not too much water. Let me share this with you. Yesterday, there was just a report that was released that said they have the true reason that Bruce Lee died. And they said he died of a water overdose. Too much water consumption. He was on some kind of diet, and he was intaking water, and he drank too much water, and it got into his brain, and it made his brain do something, like some kind of aneurysm or whatever. But that he died of too much water consumption. So again, always consult your physicians, always consult your naturopath doctors, always consult the people that are in charge of helping you with your health and well-being, and do whatever you need to do within the proper amounts that are allowed. Don't overdo anything, because anything that's overdone is going to cause you some issues. So that's my show for today, and thank you. Until next time, bye.
Hey, it's Miss Dawn. You wondering how you can support our show, Mother-Daughter-ish? We have Cash App, we have PayPal, and we do have Vimeo. Support our show so that we can reach out to more women. Our goal is to reach and build a community of 1 million women. Why don't you come on and help us do that?